Hello, everyone. So I thought to discuss briefly the Kabbalah of Dogecoin. It's a bit of a lighthearted discussion, and again, this isn't financial advice or any type of saying what's going to happen with the price either way. Just interesting insight into the inner dimension of Torah as it relates to the concept of having a coin with the picture of a dog on it. What does that mean? What's the possible significance behind that? And so we mentioned before, especially in regards to cryptocurrency and currency in general, of the relationship between currency and leadership. And that cryptocurrency, as it were, is it's the motivation to go outside the auspices of a government and to have do it my way, do it outside of this government is not maybe having my best interests at heart. So I want to have funds that are my own, that are outside of the auspices of government intervention. And obviously there's other reasons for cryptocurrency, as to some degree we've discussed in other videos as well. And so we mentioned there that the relationship between leadership and ultimately to Mashiach, the ultimate Redeemer, and to minting a coin. That the first Jewish couple, Abraham and Sarah, minted a coin, and King David minted. So there's the first king, the first leader of the Jewish people, Abraham and his wife Sarah, they minted a coin, and then David and Mashiach also, we were taught, will mint a coin. And so there's something that is the establishing of a kingdom is to mint a coin. Okay, so we have that, and we have the approximation today of we have governments that issue currency. And we have this fascination behind the founders of various currencies, especially with Bitcoin, but also with other currencies. We are always seeking who they are, interviewing them. It's a topic of interest. So, but ultimately, what we're searching for is again the true leader that will rise up and over the world according to Jewish belief, and will teach all the nations of the world, and this is the Mashiach, the Messiah. So it's interesting because in the Talmud, Sota 49b, it says that the face of the generation, this is the generation before Mashiach, will be like the face of a dog. So what does that mean? It would be like the face of a dog. So we can imagine that it's brazen. It's will be something is wrong in terms of the mindset of the generation that is in need of rectification, and that's what Mashiach is coming to rectify. So what specifically is the rectification? So we have here a very special teaching from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov in the Likutei Moharan 22:4, and it's about the positive aspect of boldness. Usually we think of boldness as maybe chutzpah, to be bold. Maybe it's not a good thing, but in terms of Yiddishkeit and Judaism, it's important to stand up for things that are right and true. And this is the brazenness on the holy side. So what's the unholy side? There are shepherds from the other. I'm now reading the translation. There are shepherds from the other side who are also prominent leaders of the generation. They force people to submit to their control. Primarily their role stems from brazenness, for brazenness is kingship without a crown. And that's from Sanhedrin 105a. 105a. So that's okay, so we have an authoritarian rule is one that rules by unholy brazenness. With their brazenness, they are like dogs, as in Isaiah 56:11. The dogs are brazen; they never have enough. They are shepherds who cannot understand. And similarly, and this is where it quotes our section of the Talmud, Sota 49b, the face of the generation is a face of the dog. Therefore it is impossible to be saved from them, from their authority, except through boldness, standing up against their brazenness, and then boldly you led them to your holy shrine, entering into holiness. And all sounds, whether of crying out or of sighing, whether the sound of the shofar or the sound of song, they are all the concept of boldness, as in Psalms 68:34. Behold, he puts into his voice a bold sound. So it's actually mentioned of why Dogecoin is taking off, why this popularity. It's like a protest to currency and to the way things are, and this is the way that people are showing that the foolishness of the reliance on currency and monetary valuation and so forth. So this is, I'm going to invest in a meme coin that has no intrinsic value. Arguably, many people say it doesn't. And though it's starting to be used as a payment method, but this is all for sure. This is like a protest against the norms. And what is it saying? It's saying that the leaders of this generation, that's what was discussed in previous videos about the attraction to cryptocurrency of because it's an aversion, it's trying to separate from these governments that people don't. Again, the feeling is that they don't have their best interests at heart, these governments. So maybe I'll do something outside of that. So that's one of the attractions to cryptocurrency. And now we're saying even more strongly is that the aversion is specifically to the leadership, and specifically to authoritarian leadership. And how am I going to be brazen? I'm going to say it like it is. You, dog. What rule do you have over me? And this is actually, if this was in the story of Nebuchadnezzar in Babylonia, that the three that were thrown into the fiery furnace, and they came out, and they. So in terms of the question that Nebuchadnezzar raised, and I'll try to quote this. I'm just paraphrasing. Isn't there a commandment to respect the king? Of course, we respect royalty because royalty below is symbolic of royalty above, but only in matters that don't go against the Torah. I mean, only in things that are permissible. If there's an option, so that's encouraged. But not if the king is specifically, especially coming against the Jewish people and coming out with edicts that are against the Torah and against God. So then there's nothing different from that king than there's nothing different from that king than a dog. Because it's just brazenness and just authoritarian rule, and then might as well just be a dog and have the face of a dog. And how do I show that today? I'm showing that by investing in Dogecoin. It's a protest. It's a form of protest, of being brazen against the unholy brazenness of this generation. So I hope you enjoyed that, and again, what's going to happen? I have no idea, but I do know that when Mashiach comes, it will be a currency for all, a currency led by a king who does care about the people, and does have their best interests at heart. And all of this gaining in material wealth, ultimately, all wealth should be for the sake of rebuilding the third temple and spreading their awareness of godliness throughout the world, which does take physical funds, does take physical abundance, and we should all merit to see revealed and good blessing in our lives. Thank you.